Welcome to Hollywood Actions. In this video, we're going to uncover brutal Vietnam War movies the military tried to hide. Films so raw, so unfiltered, and so emotionally powerful that they challenged official narratives and exposed the harsh truths of war. These movies don't just entertain, they confront, disturb, and force us to see what many tried to keep hidden. Now let's dive in. 1. Platoon, 1986. Directed by Oliver Stone, Platoon is one of the most authentic depictions of the Vietnam War ever made. Stone himself was a Vietnam veteran, and his firsthand experience bleeds into every frame. The film shows the moral collapse of soldiers caught between survival and humanity. Rather than glorifying war, it exposes internal conflicts, corruption, and the psychological toll on young recruits. Its brutal realism and criticism of military leadership made it controversial. The film doesn't shy away from depicting war crimes and the loss of innocence, making it uncomfortable for institutions that preferred a cleaner narrative. It remains a landmark anti-war film that challenged audiences to rethink heroism and sacrifice. 2. Apocalypse Now, 1979. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, Apocalypse Now is a haunting journey into the madness of war. Inspired by Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness, it portrays a surreal descent into chaos as Captain Willard searches for the rogue Colonel Kurtz. The film's depiction of psychological breakdown and moral ambiguity was unsettling for many. It highlights how war distorts reality, pushing men beyond the limits of sanity. Its chaotic production mirrored its themes, and its final product was both mesmerizing and disturbing. The military was reportedly uneasy with its portrayal of command structures and the suggestion that authority could become monstrous under pressure. 3. Full Metal Jacket, 1987. Legendary director Stanley Kubrick crafted Full Metal Jacket as a two-part exploration of war, brutal training, and devastating combat. The boot camp sequences reveal psychological conditioning and dehumanization, while the Vietnam scenes show the consequences of that transformation. The film criticizes how soldiers are molded into killing machines, stripping away individuality. Its stark, clinical approach to violence and its refusal to glorify combat made it deeply unsettling. The military's discomfort stemmed from its exposure of training practices and a long-term mental damage inflicted on soldiers. 4. The Deer Hunter, 1978. Directed by Michael Cimino, The Deer Hunter focuses on the emotional and psychological scars left by war. The infamous Russian roulette scenes became symbolic of the randomness and horror of Vietnam. Rather than focusing on battlefield heroics, the film shows how war destroys friendships, families, and identities. Its portrayal of trauma and its critique of the war's impact on American society made it controversial. The military was wary of its bleak message that war leaves lasting damage far beyond the battlefield. 5. Born on the 4th of July, 1989. Another powerful film by Oliver Stone. This story follows Ron Kovic, a Vietnam veteran who becomes an anti-war activist after being paralyzed. Played by Tom Cruise, Kovic's journey exposes the betrayal many veterans felt upon returning home. The film criticizes government propaganda and highlights the struggles of disabled veterans. Its emotional intensity and political stance made it controversial, especially among those who supported the war. It challenges viewers to confront the consequences of blind patriotism. 6. Hamburger Hill, 1987. Directed by John Irvin, Hamburger Hill depicts one of the bloodiest battles of the Vietnam War. The film focuses on the relentless assault on Hill 937, showing the physical and emotional exhaustion of soldiers. Its unflinching portrayal of casualties and the apparent futility of the mission raise questions about military strategy. The film doesn't provide easy answers or heroic victories, instead emphasizing the human cost of war. Its realism made it uncomfortable for those who preferred a more glorified depiction of military operations. 7. Casualties of War, 1989. Directed by Brian De Palma, this film is based on a true story of a squad that kidnaps and assaults a Vietnamese girl. It's one of the most disturbing Vietnam War films ever made. The story highlights the moral breakdown of soldiers and the failure of leadership. Its graphic subject matter and direct critique of military conduct made it highly controversial. The film forces viewers to confront the darker side of war, where discipline collapses and humanity is lost. 8. We Were Soldiers, 2002. Directed by Randall Wallace and starring Mel Gibson, this film portrays the Battle of Ia Drang. While more balanced than some others, it still shows the brutal realities of combat. The film emphasizes leadership, sacrifice, and the chaos of battle. However, its graphic depiction of violence and the heavy casualties on both sides reveal the true cost of war. Even though it has a more respectful tone toward the military, its realism ensures it doesn't shy away from the horrors faced by soldiers. 9. Jacob's Ladder, 1990. Directed by Adrian Lyne, Jacob's Ladder is a psychological horror film rooted in Vietnam War trauma. It follows a veteran experiencing disturbing hallucinations, possibly linked to secret military experiments. The film explores themes of paranoia, guilt, and the long-term effects of war on the human mind. Its suggestion of unethical government actions added to its controversy. The film blurs the line between reality and nightmare, reflecting the psychological scars carried by veterans. 10. Rescue Dawn, 2006. Directed by Werner Herzog and starring Christian Bale, Rescue Dawn tells the true story of a pilot captured and tortured during the war. The film focuses on survival, resilience, and the brutality of captivity. It portrays the physical and mental challenges faced by prisoners of war. Its raw depiction of suffering and its focus on the human spirit make it both inspiring and disturbing. The film highlights aspects of war often overlooked, including the experiences of POWs. These films go beyond entertainment. They reveal the truths many try to suppress. They show the psychological toll, moral dilemmas, and human cost of one of the most controversial wars in history. Each movie challenges the idea of war as heroic, instead presenting it as chaotic, devastating, and deeply human. That if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who love powerful Hollywood stories. Thanks for watching.